Welcome everybody. We've got some European action now. We don't get to see too much from the European division. It's between Felix Stenitzer, perennial finalist, but not the defending champ for once in this division. He's up against David Hall at the bottom. David Hall's actually from Alabama in the US, but he plays in the European division. So he's trying to cause an upset here. You can see on the points, Felix, this is round 2. Felix enters on 8 points. David is currently on 0 points, and that's because the European division has a bye, and so David's coming off his bye. He had a week 1 bye, which means Felix still has to have one of those. You can see here, looks like Felix is on straight up blue-black control, whereas David is on public enemy number 1, and that is the Teferi Nexus deck. I don't know what, I forget its name off the top of my head. But the next, basically just using Nexus of Fate and Fairy to win. You can see he's got a bounty of the Luxor. I don't know. We haven't seen that card in standard. It hasn't made an impact at all. So a bit of jank for David there. And I think actually here David's deck is going to be poorly equipped to fight a control in game 1 because he relies a lot on these on these fog effects, and when he's not up against creatures, obviously the fog effects are going to do nothing. So here's Bounty of the Luxor. Yeah, and as you can see, the full art player promo negate from Felix. I'm not sure why David fired off that Supreme Will when David could pay for it. Sorry, when Felix could pay for it. Yeah, as I was saying, I think game 1 is really bad for David. He doesn't have the tools to beat a control mirror. Search for Skanta resolves though, so that's kind of a big one. Interesting here, he had a Gear Hulk and he had a negate, so he could have negated the Search for Skanta, but Felix chose to let it resolve. And for some reason there, I don't know why, okay, Felix, David's chosen not to flip a Skanta because you can see the Field of Ruin on the other side. It would only last a turn, he'd get 1 activation and it would be gone. So Nexus of Fate is going to be the draw. Not really sure what he's waiting here. He's got Teferi. You can see Felix is loaded up. He's got 7 cards in hand and an absolute ton of mana. I don't know how many counter spells David plays before sideboard. So he's decided to flip this counter now. Not mucking around, Felix just destroys it straight away. So he will get his 1 activation. What do you want to take here? Yeah, I think he's got to take the commit to memory because he hasn't been playing Teferi, so he's obviously looking to pick his spot where he can resolve it through a counter war. But you can only obviously do that if you have counters, so I think commit memory is a take here. I'm a bit surprised he's gone for Nissa. My only thinking here with the Nissa is that he's going to use it as bait for a counter spell. So he'll fire off the Nissa first, draw out a counter spell, and then try and resolve Teferi. So here we go, see if he does that. That's what he's going to do. 7 cards in hand though for Felix. Probably another Gear Hulk here. So I don't see this going very well. But if that's the line that David's chosen, he has to fire off Teferi here. Can't really pass the turn. It was kind of pointless. You can see Felix doesn't have to do anything. Here comes Gear Hulk. That's going to resolve. So he's getting aggressive now. And in response, I don't know what's happened here. Syncopate's going to actually exile that Nexus of Fate. But David tried to resolve 2 Nexus of Fates by the looks of it. Yeah, he did. So he's going to be able to resolve Teferi here, I think, unless there's a second negate. There's not. But that just dies, straight up dies to commit memory. Yeah, I'm not really sure what the line was there with the Nexus of Fate, unless I missed a counter there because they're both exiled. So I'm guessing Felix must have had two syncopates possibly. And Teferi, is Teferi down here? Well, he's gone. He's trying to bounce Teferi, so in response, it'll get Vraska's contempted. You can see he's got no cards in hand. Felix has got 5, draws an Ascantus. This is looking really bad for David now. Felix has done nothing proactive this entire game. He hasn't had to, so you'd imagine he's got a fair bit left in the tank. And Felix would disallow that. You're not getting any new cards. So Argyl's Bloodfast is going to draw him more cards again here. 3-turn clock for David. Definitely don't want to swamp. Gets another land anyway. Argyl's Bloodfast going to do some serious work here. Felix can just draw as many cards as he can spend mana on because there's no threat to his life total. Because he's up to 9 cards, he's going to draw into 10 now. 10 cards to 0 when you're a control deck. This is Scarab God, this is getting ugly. Dear Hulk. Definitely don't want a Glacial Fortress. Okay, so Root Snare is going to buy him a turn here at least. He's looking to buy himself 2 turns. The problem here is that with this strategy, is that Scarab God is going to be able to reanimate. I think there's a Gear Hulk in the grave. So that's lethal. There's the first counterspell. If he's got another counterspell on his 7 cards, then it's just game. Goes again, he does it. This last, so we're going to game 2. So you'd imagine here for what David, I don't know how many counter spells he has in the sideboard, but you'd imagine obviously they all come in and at the expense of these fogs. Because if you get to the point of the game where you're fogging, I think you can't really win. Escanta doesn't resolve. And he has to pass the turn. So I guess this Glint-Sleeve Siphon is coming from the sideboard. There's going to be no creature removal, so it's going to be free hits every turn. Here's Nessage and a negate on the other side. There is, it's the full art promo player rewards negate, which funnily enough David is also playing. You can see he's now drawn his negate 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's still 2 negates. All he needs now is a Teferi. Felix has resolved Argyl's Bloodfast, so he's going to start drawing a ton of cards. I wonder here if Felix might be in the market to Field of Ruin that irrigated farmland. He is, yeah, he's going to take it down. That's actually going to cut him off of 2 mana. So he floats 2 blue here. And he's going to go for Nexus of Fate. It resolves. Interesting that that resolves there. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 mana available. 7's kind of the magic number here. This little glint sleeve siphoner with the 10-turn clock. What do you take? Yeah, commit to memory. I think the fogs are just really bad. So here's the play here. The fogs are bad. He's going to be able to resolve this Teferi, you'd imagine. Is it Jace's defeat? Argyl's Bloodfast goes digging. And Teferi resolves, so he's in a pretty good spot here. Felix is down to 10, so it's not nothing. And is oh, this is huge. Has the counter spell, so the Doomfall ends up cleaning out his hand. See, Felix is tapped out, so he's not in danger of losing the Teferi this turn. Well, actually, he's not. He's got 2 cards. Well, he can cycle the Scattered Groves. He's desperate for something. I'd cycle that Haze of Pollen as well. He's not going to. So Felix here prioritising taking down Teferi. Teferi's down to 2. The Glint Sleeve Siphoner is not going to be able to get it done. But just so many bad draws here for David. Okay, he's found a Nexus of Fate. He's already burned through, I think, 2 negates and a commit memory thanks to the Doomfall. So he doesn't have a lot of defense going on here. I'd be tempted here to fire that Nexus of Fate off in response to the Glimmer of Genius. Yeah, he's going to. I think the situation doesn't get any better for you from here. And I wonder if Felix found that negate off the Argor's Bloodfast activation. Unless he has a Vraska's Contempt. There's an Eldest Reborn. Okay, so he concedes just now. The Eldest Reborn was going to make him sacrifice Teferi, so it's hopeless from there. Felix is on Crack Clan Ironworks here. He's been playing this for a while. Looks like David's picked up Jeskai Control. Jeskai Control, not 100% bad in game 1 here. He doesn't really have the tools to fight as well as he can. I think what he's got to do here, because he's got to get to Cryptic Command, so if Felix can go off here, he's found the Crack Clan Ironworks. If Felix has got the mana, which he does, if he can start to go off, it's a turn too late. He's going to resolve the Crack Clan Ironworks, I believe. There's a rollback for some reason, I don't know what. I think this has caused an error. Okay, says because one of them, I actually didn't know you could keep doing it over and over to get that. Yeah, so what happened there was it looks like Felix has floated the martyr in the incorrect phase. So Crocline Ironworks resolves, and now he's going to start going off. So okay, so we got to this turn. He's got Monastery Mentor main deck. I probably wouldn't fire that off, to be honest. And now I think the fact that he untapped here means that Felix is going to win because the only line he has to stop this is to bounce the Ironworks. He still needs to find that Mare Retriever in order to get back an artifact, which sorry, the Scrap Trawler is what I'm talking about. He's found the Scrap Trawler now, so I believe this is going to be game. Yes, he's got to counter this because Felix can. I like that play bounce the Clan Ironworks. Now, in response, he can sacrifice an artifact in order to float 2 mana for the Clan and then play it straight back. Or he doesn't even need to do that if he doesn't want to because he's got the 1, 2, 3, 4 mana available. But what he will want to do is Buried Ruin will get him back with Scrap Trawler so he can do it again next turn. Oh, he's also got a Mare Retriever in hand. So he's got 1 card left in hand. And he's got a Scrap Trawler anyway. after all that. And a Terrarian's going to let him draw cards, so I think that's should be a loot now. Yeah, and so David concedes and goes to game 2. So you can see he's got engineered explosives. I wonder how he'll probably have some number of stony silence as well. So he's kept the logic. He's kept the one lander, so he had to mull down quite low there. So he's in serious trouble here early. I don't see this one going on for very long at all. Okay, he's starting to slowly recover. He's going to be able to crack the flooded strand, so he can logic not for 2. There's the spell bomb. There's no point really countering it because in the future he's just going to be able to get it back anyway once he establishes a combo. I think the only things you want to stop here are the Clan Ironworks and that scrap trawler. I was going to say what I would be doing is firing off these, is getting aggressive with the snapcasters and trying to present a clock. I would have been tempted actually to crack the flooded strand for a mountain and then fire off electrolyze at the end of turn. This one you want to counter, I think, definitely Mirror Retriever, because the scrap troll is 3 mana, so he's not going to get a better target for the spell snare, and it gives him fuel for his logic knot. I'd get rid of Jace and keep the cryptic command. Yeah, so now he's going to be able to fire off Electrolyze end of turn, which will get him the card draw and another card in the grave, because currently Felix is in a pretty weak position. He's only got 3 mana available, so he can't hard cast anything at this stage. David chose not to fire off the Electrolyze into turn there. So here's a scrap trawler. This one here, I think, yeah, he can certainly path this. There's no sack outlets currently. I don't know why he's left that on the battlefield. That's could be a huge mistake. That's a prime target for path to exile. I think it should have been pathed at the end of the last turn. Weird Tear's not a bad draw here because you can see Felix doesn't have the mana to do anything substantial in a turn. He's only got access to 4 mana. Negate is going to do some work, but 3 cryptic commands, 5 counter spells in hand. So you can path here, and so you can see the Nature's Claim. This is why I think he should have gone for it in the previous turn. Now he's left himself open. Felix doesn't have to crack Clan Ironworks. So that's a big one to resolve because you can see the Buried Ruin. Felix would have been able to get it back there. What David still needs though is here's another scrap trawler. That's a bit unlucky. What he still needs is a clock. Oh, interesting. Master Sai. And that is a huge draw. Stony Silence. And I'm really liking David's position now. He has to beat the Sai though. A Nature's Claim. Can he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5. And a negate. Oh, that is big. And he resolves the Crackline Ironworks. One card left in hand. And because he's got the scrap trawler, we're going to start seeing some business now. You can see David's tapped out, so he can't even use Relic. David's just asking in chat, how did you get scrap trawler back? He sacked the Equal Wellspring, which, oh, okay, yeah, he had a third one in his hand. That's incredibly unlucky there. And at this stage, I think David is just dead. Yeah, David's going to concede, so we're going to go to Legacy. He's got two Cryptics and a Jace. I don't think Jace really flies in this match because it's too hard to tap out for 4 mana. So yeah, he is going to concede, so we're going to go to Legacy, where he's playing. It looks like I've never seen Ashiok in Legacy before, so I'm guessing this is a brew. I'm not sure what Felix is on Legacy these days. I'm just resolving scries at the moment. There's a Honda. So it looks like it's some sort of stoneblade deck for Felix. We'll have to wait and see. Well, we're not going to get to see because David's conceded already. So David looks like he's just on. Is it Sultai? I've seen blue black. I haven't seen a third color yet. So two Baleful Strix in hand. You can see in the first game, very, very briefly, we saw Jeskai colors. This looks like an absolute copy of that first game. where Felix tried to resolve a Stoneforge Mystic but had it countered with the Daze. I might have been tempted there if I was, oh, here's True Name, this is big trouble. And True Name is going to resolve. So now it's going to be a straight up race. Well, Liliana, that's one way to answer a True Name Nemesis. True Name straight down, thanks to a minus on the Liliana. Path will take care of the Dark Confidant. Hey, shut that door, please. I'm looking forward to Ashiok resolving. I want to see this guy go to work. He was my favourite Planeswalker in the Standard. Okay, so there's a Batterskull, which Felix is going to better hard cast next turn. I think it's... I think I would have used that Wasteland so that he can't hard cast. Okay, he's going to be able to get rid of it anyway here with the Thoughtseize. Oh no, he's not. He shuffled it away. Felix at 12, he's got one card in hand, which we know what it is. It's a Batterskull. This one's a very slow burn here. What's he got? Delver of Secrets. The new transform from the Vault version. In comes Batterskull. You let the Batterskull resolve before he fatal pushes. Okay. So because of this weird layout that David has here, Batterskull is still in play. It's just covered by the Ashiok window on the right hand side because you can see his Planeswalkers. So just make sure this is all laid out correctly. Yeah, the Planeswalkers you can see on the right hand side as well. There's the Batterskull. He just moved it now. So it's going to cost 4 to get the Batterskull back to the hand. But meanwhile, Ashiok is just doing the business. And he's decided he doesn't. Oh, it's three back to hand. Okay, so he can put that back with Stoneforge Mystic now. As he once again closes on. A second Ashiok is not what you want here. Ashiok's certainly not something that you would. This is an interesting one. He's gone for the sacrifice a creature, so Batterskull's going to come in. So now Felix, he is only one land away from being able to hard cast it though. You can see he's gone at Ashiok. So Batterskull down. There's a counter spell. Ashiok just still getting it done. I don't know. I'm not a Legacy expert, but I can't think in Legacy how common it is for Planeswalker removal. Obviously, it's not because Felix had enough. He conceded, and we're going to game 3. So after Felix took down Standard and Modern 2 games to 0 in both games, David's got one back, and he's got a chance to get a pinch a format here. Oh, he's had to mold a 5, no lands in his opening hand. You can see he's got the Dark Confidant again. I'm not too sure how common that card is in Legacy. You can see as well a play there from David. He fetched a basic because from a fetch land because he was waiting to see what lands Felix is going to play, playing playing around Wasteland. I think there's a slight misplay there. He's just going to have a quick look at his deck, it looks like, to see what he's got. There's a slight misplay there. I think he should have put the Dark Confidant back on top and kept the second Force of Will so he can win a counter war if it got to that, because you can see with the Bloodstained Mire he's got no intention of cracking it, so he wants the cards that are on top. Here's True Name. So now he wants to fight a counter war over True Name Nemesis, but he only has one counter spell, and there's the Force of Will. So the True Name is going to resolve now, and he has no way to beat. Oh, sorry. He has no way to beat a True Name Nemesis. So it's going to be a race here between Dark Confidant and Balsam Strictures, which is doing 3 damage up against the 3 damage of the True Name Nemesis, but not anymore because Dark Confidant looks to be gone. He can fight over this if he wants to. He chooses not to. I think the issue here is that Felix has 3 cards in hand, so it's going to make any fight difficult. Yeah, I think he's got to be pretty aggressive now with that brainstorm, because it's a 5-turn clock, which is plenty of time. But his hand is entirely reactive. He needs to get something going here. He can't even find a Liliana because he doesn't have the second swamp. Well, there's a second swamp now. No, not in here. Out, please. I'm recording. No. So Felix is interested in fighting over the second Dark Confidant. I don't know why he doesn't attack with the Baleful Strix, because it can't do anything to stop the True Name Nemesis. The other concern here for David as well is that Dark Confidant's naturally going to kill him eventually, so he needs to find something quicker. Okay, there's a Liliana. This has to resolve or it's game over. It resolves. Oh, but he's got a snap caster mage, so that's going to be game. That's a big play from Felix at the end, and Felix takes a clean sweep against David Hall in the European division to pick up the full 12 points. David does steal a single point though. So a 12 to 1 is a convincing win, because nothing's going to be able to block that True Name Nemesis now. I think there's the inevitable finish move. And there is points to Felix. I need to realign that font, unfortunately. Apologize for that.